So if it's open source, I mean, I guess, I don't know. That's a whole nother ecosystem and stuff.
Open source, like that's like Blender is open source. So like you can see their code and a lot of people can like build tools specifically with their programming in mind. And so the community with Blender, because it's an open source software, 3D software, it's very collaborative because you're building really nice tools in it. Anyway, but that's
interesting. And it's a standalone company. It's not owned by any
Blender. No, they're just donations.
That's like the miracle of open source actually working.
No.
So, wow, that's amazing. That's,
Blender's
such a good tool.
Yeah, it's a really good tool. Source. Yeah, so I've used like if you've heard of like Maya.
Yeah.
So I've used Maya before, 3ds Max, Houdini, which I still use for like simulation. And then I was a huge advocate for Cinema 4D. And I would present for them at like SIGGRAPH and NAB. And most of my tutorials online were Cinema 4D, great software. But then I remember seeing on like Twitter, people posting like Blender animations and stuff coming on Blender. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, they're like, this is free 3D software. And it looked amazing. So I was like, okay, I'll download it. I'll try it on a couple projects. And I was blown away. I was like, this software is amazing. I can't believe it's free. It's totally free. You can just go download it. And so I started playing with it and I totally switched. And that saves me thousands of dollars a year.
No, that's fantastic. You don't have to pay those crazy high licensing fees.
So it's a great software and the developers are like really innovative. And anyway.
What kind of system do you run it
on? So I have I have 2 PCs. One has like a 3070 RTX and the other one has a 4090 RTX. Okay. Just one. And I can't even remember how many.
Just one card?
Yeah, just one. There's been, I used to have a tower. I like at one point like ripped open the side of my computer and I like built we had like a wood tower with a bunch of like 1080s Ti cards, all SLI like connected. And it was just like, it was overkill. So now it's like, if I have a big rendering job, I'll usually like put in the budget, like I need credits for rendering on a farm, so then I can just upload it.
Do you use AWS then?
Or? No, I don't use Amazon's. There's a couple different ones I've used before. RenderFox or
are there ones made for VFX?
Yeah,
RenderFox.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and they're just nice because you can upload. You like package up your thing, you upload it to a server, and then it'll say how many GPUs do you want to use, and then you can just go through, and then it'll give you a cost calculator.
Really? And so what's the budget like? What can that cost?
So it depends on, a lot of it will depend on like your sample count and sample counts. The higher the sample count in a 3D render, the longer the time it'll take to render. But the higher the sample count, the cleaner the render is. Yeah. And sample count, this is it's getting super techie. But
that's fine. No, that's okay.
Yeah, but the sample count it'll depending on material. So if I have a translucent like water or glass, I might need more samples because there's a lot more light bouncing around and you want to reduce the noise. And then a diffused material, you don't need as many samples. So you adjust your samples and then once you test it on your computer enough, you find like, okay, this is a good threshold of like noise that you're okay with. And then sometimes even in post, I will denoise stuff and even upscale if I have to. But so it's hard to be like, it depends. It always depends on like the render. How many objects do you have in a scene? And there's been some software. There was one software called Clarice, and it's no longer around, but it was used by DNEG. They're a huge studio, and ILM used to use it. And it's for environments, and you could do trillions of polygons, and it was amazing. And that software went away, and so now there's different software, and they all depend on the software and the sample counts. But anyway, it's just it's kind of a techie headache, but I will try to, when I'm like bidding something.
Is it like thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars?
Oh yeah. It'll be thousands.
Thousands. That much that much processing power. Wow.
Yeah. And it depends like deadlines. Sometimes I'm like, okay. But I will usually be like, okay, this is a minute long thing. I'm gonna need this roughly this much. So yeah, I'll be like, I'll try to put an extra whatever. But yeah, it's sometimes we'll get like thousands for render credits because it just takes a long time.
Well, that's good. And you can't like wait forever. I mean, if you try to render on your local rig, it's going to take 2 months.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, this is again, where I'm like, I want AI. Like, this is where I'm like, this is a great place for AI to come in and help us with this stuff. I'm like, help the artist be artistic and help us get to what we're trying to create in our mind quicker. That's great.
Yeah.
But the control is part of it. Like being an artist is you being able to control the image and you being able to compose the image. And I think AI can help us do that quicker. I just don't want it to deliver the final image. Like, it just doesn't work.
And please like and subscribe, because it makes my assistant super happy. She's a really nice woman, and whenever we get a new subscriber, we notice it. We're pumped. Makes me happy too. We've had over 50,000 views in the past month and a half, but we would love to have more subscribers. So please subscribe.